Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Just a Fan Podcast is back. Next to me, well, excuse me, hold on. I am one quarter of your host, the one who they call the NFL Encyclopedia, Brandon Williams.
I am so proud that you didn't use it. Never mind.
You
Never
said
mind.
what? No, I'm sorry, I gave myself the wrong one. Hold on, my bad, my bad, my bad, my
I was
bad.
hoping you. Yeah,
I messed up. I messed up. I messed up.
I was actually hoping that you wouldn't use the sound board.
What's up,
Yeah.
Jamal? Okay,
So,
yeah, I kill it. I'm first fine. I kill it anyway. And then to the side of me, the one from H Town, Eric Pando 316 right.
you can sit there and you can make your predictions. You could talk about your quarterbacks. You could talk about your coaching. But I guarantee you, son, that Pando 316 is going to prove you wrong.
All
All right.
right, now he said it. Gonna prove y'all wrong. All right, so we got some NFL news and notes for this week. Actually, hold on. Let me rewind real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this Thursday, in less than 48 hours, we're going to have kickoff to our 2022-2023 regular season. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. We are ready to go. We are ready to go. All right. So, let's cover some NFL news and notes, and then we also got some panel 316 picks. You
These are
want
Pando's
to
picks. This is the segment that we do now that the season has started. It's Pando's picks, and we basically talk about who I think is going to come out victorious that particular week and the reasons why. And we're going to expound a little bit on that as well. So, but before we go any further, y'all anybody want to talk about? Can we talk about college football, that opening weekend in college football? Just a few little points about that.
we can talk a little bit college football. Jackson State won.
Because game recognized game, and I'm gonna tell you right now, uh, LSU looking kind of unfamiliar.
So I'm trying to give LSU a chance, um, because they have a new head coach. I believe in the new head coach, and Brian Kelly. Um, so I'm trying to, like I said, I'm just trying to give him a chance because this is his team now. It's not at Oregon anymore.
Orgeron,
Who?
Ed or
Whatever. Orgeron, Oregon, whatever.
sound like
Um,
the assistant coach on the Water Boy.
whatever. Octagon, whatever. He ain't there no more.
Yeah, but I know you heard about the upheaval after that game. Some of the players, we got what was it Butte, the receiver? He's kind of thinking about entering the transfer portal.
Already.
Yep, there's a
He
lot
didn't
of
even, he didn't even see how the season went.
he's he's somewhat how should I say perturbed at how things went down, and yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. So, but there's already upheaval. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Just talking about that game, I was not impressed with either team.
Who was it?
What
LSU versus who?
LSU and Florida State
Oh yeah, okay.
was not impressed.
Look, look. Florida State is Florida State even what they used to be?
They're trying to get back to it. Now, the team that I was most impressed with, I'm gonna be honest. The team that I was most impressed with this weekend was Michigan.
Okay.
Michigan came out and did what they were supposed to do. If you are a ranked team, bottom line, if you're a ranked team and you're playing an unranked team, you are supposed to skull drag them all over the damn field. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what it's supposed to be. And Michigan, basically, I thought they were going to leave the stadium in handcuffs for assault. They did the same thing, same token. Georgia. Georgia did the exact same thing.
Yeah, Georgia crushed somebody over the weekend.
And they
So
crushed the ranked opponent. That was Oregon. No, not was it Oregon?
yeah, I think it was Oregon because
It was Oregon.
yeah, Oregon. I mean, Oregon's a ranked team, but their better days really was under Chip Kelly.
Yeah. But the point being is they got monkey stomped.
Well, I know.
And yeah, man, you that's how it honestly that's how it should be. If you're a ranked opponent, because I can pontificate and go all day and talk about college football and how just which is gonna bring me to my next talking point. We really didn't cover this in pre-production, but it came to me right as we were coming on the air. But the college football playoff system that has been pretty much ratified, which I completely think is ridiculous. It's going too far. Now, but before I get into that, talking about my previous point, was that if you're gonna be a top 10, at least top 10 team in college football, it is your responsibility that when you play an unranked team, you are supposed to beat the unholy brakes off of them. You're supposed to beat the brakes off of them so bad they bus don't stop rolling when they get back to their campus. That's what you're supposed to do. Anytime I see a ranked team struggle against an unranked team, that even if they win, I feel like they need to get booted down in the rankings. That I'm sorry. Now, you could be, let's say, I don't know, let's say you're number 5 and you struggle against number 8. That's understandable. 5, 8. That's not that far away. But if you are, and I'm not calling any particular schools at this point, I'm just using this for example, my philosophy on college football rankings. And if you agree or disagree, please feel free to comment down here. We can talk about it. We got time tonight. But my mindset is these college football rankings, especially if you're in the top 10 and you play an unranked team, they supposed to be throwing towels like Rocky should have done against Paulo Creed and Ivan Drago. Like, throw the towel. Somebody throw the towel. Because bottom line, you struggle against an unranked team, you don't deserve to be in the top 10, period. Or the top 12, which is going to take us to our next point, talking about the college football playoff system that they've quote unquote worked out, which I absolutely hate. So, Brandon, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I agree with you. Like I said, if a fifth ranked team, like let's say it's Clemson. Clemson ranks 5th, and they struggle to beat 8th ranked Southern Cal. Okay, fine. But if you are 5th ranked Clemson and you struggle against unranked UCF, and let's say UCF, if there was rankings going that far back, they rank 75th. Then you're right. You shouldn't struggle. It should not be a close game. It should not be within 14 or 17 points. And I agree with you. They should fall
Yeah,
because I remember years ago. It's probably been about a decade, a little bit longer. App State upset Michigan. I was living in North Carolina when that happened, and people all over North Carolina went crazy for App State beating Michigan, upsetting Michigan. Now, of
yeah,
course, Michigan fell because they lost. But had Michigan won that game by like 2 points, I believe that Michigan should have still have fallen.
yeah. And that's a prime example of what I'm talking about. You have 2 closely ranked teams. Let's say that they 5 spots apart,
Right.
and the team that's on top struggles to beat that team that's maybe 3, 4, 5 spots beneath them. That's understandable. Okay, that's parity. I'm cool with that. But if you are a ranked team and you're playing an unranked team, you should be dragging that unranked team. We only want to see close games when it's teams that's supposed to be closely ranked. Consequently, if you're an unranked team, let's say you play a top 10 team and you give them hell, you need to move up, even if you lose. Say,
Yeah, yes,
let's say East Bumblefort Community College faces, I don't know, Third Ward Hair Care Tire Facility uh community college, and East Bumblefort College beats them. But you got the Who Shot John University, and they didn't play Michigan. And Michigan beat them, but they only beat them by like 10 points. Who Shot John University should catapult over that other team. They should catapult over East Bumblefort. You know what
exactly.
I'm saying? So
Right.
that I mean, that's showing, hey man, you can play with these guys. You didn't win it, but hey, it's kind of like another Rocky reference. The first Rocky movie, you know, Rocky lost to Apollo Creed, but he gave Apollo Creed hell in that first movie. They
Right.
both had to go to the hospital when it was over. And that's the whole credence behind having Rocky 2, because it was like, wait a minute, this guy's supposed to be a bum from off the street against one of the best heavyweights ever, Apollo Creed. And Rocky went in there and messed that dude up, broke his ribs, all that stuff. So consequently, you got teams that are like that, that are, lower ranked teams or unranked teams, and they play some of these top teams. Bruh, if they in this game, when the game is over and they still in it, you got to give them some credit, because
Exactly.
they weren't supposed to be nowhere in the game.
Exactly. I
You
agree.
know, yeah. So, you know, that's just my thoughts on that. And we'll talk a little bit more college football. We talk mainly NFL on this show, but we do like to talk about college football, because college football is basically the gateway into the NFL. So we always want to keep tabs on these college players and the college football scene. But our next point that we're gonna get to, talking about, still dealing with college football. Uh,
The college playoff system.
man, listen, there were 4 teams in the college playoff system. And at one point, even though they thought they had fixed it, 4 teams was a problem, because they were still letting folks like Oklahoma in there that didn't deserve to be there. Oklahoma get skull drugged by the number 1 team in the nation. Oklahoma be like 4. They have to play number 1, and get hit over the head with steel chairs and moonsaulted off of the top rope and all that other stuff. What happened to them? Yes, I'm using a wrestling reference, but they get choke slammed and everything like that. And we're like, how did they even get there? They didn't deserve to be there. So the NCAA has decided, in their infinite wisdom, to expand the playoff system to 12 teams, which is insane.
I agree.
It's literally like, if you go, I use this analogy on our pre-production in our chats, but it's literally like you go to a restaurant and you ask, hey, would you like some steak sauce on your steak? And you say yes. And instead of just handing you the bottle and sitting it down, they take a 5-gallon water cooler jug of steak sauce and pour it on your plate to where you can't even see the steak no more. That's what most of us who are college football fans felt like just happened, who got some sense. Because basically, yes, we needed to expand it. 6 would have been great. 8 would have been perfect. But no. We're going to take it further. We're going to take it further. No, first and second do not get a bye, Jared. They don't.
Actually, I
Oh,
thought
yeah,
it
they
was
do. Yeah, they
it's
do.
the top 6 teams that get a bye, I believe.
And see right there. This is another microcosm of what's wrong. There's so many things to unpack and so many things that are wrong right there. Is basically, first of all, it shouldn't be 12.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Okay.
Is it even top 5 or top 6 teams?
No, it can't be
Whatever.
5. It's got to probably 6. But that's a problem now. So
Yeah, it is top 6. I'm sorry.
that's a problem. That's a problem. So first of all, 5 and 6 probably don't deserve a bye. Let's go ahead and be honest right here. And let's go ahead and put it out here. Team 9, 10, 11, and 12 shouldn't even be in the playoffs. Okay, because what you're going to have, if we already had people sneaking into a 4-game playoff, what the heck do you think is about to happen? You're going to have some 3 and 4 loss teams in the college football playoffs. This is supposed to be the cream of the crop. I know I'm not watching it. I'm not watching number 12 take on number 6. I'm not finna no. No. I just can't do it. You know? Uh there's a lot of they trying to create more games. It's a money grab. That's what they trying to do. Okay. That's literally what you got the NIL stuff going on and they got to pay out people. So they trying to generate more revenue. That's all that that's about. There's no way that you should have a 12 team playoff in college football because we know once you start getting around right around 8, 9, that's when you start getting them 2, 3, and 4 lost teams. And it's kind of like, I live in Texas. When I was in high school, and I'm going to give you the Florida mix. I know I'm going a little bit long. But when I was in high school in the 90s, I'm dating myself. In your district, you had the top 2 teams that went to the playoffs, period. Nowadays, they take the top 4 teams in the district. And the third and fourth place teams usually are teams that are barely 500. And they just did that to expand playoffs for no reason. Because usually those third and fourth place teams get skull drugged the first round of the playoffs. So it's kind of like that. That's what reminds me of high school football. It's like, no, this should be the cream of the crop. So I relinquish the floor to the distinguished gentleman, the football encyclopedia.
So let me do it this way. Okay, there's 12 teams, right? This is basic math. What's going to happen is you're going to now they're saying your top six. Well, they've chosen 6 conference championship winners. Now, obviously, 5 of them are going to come from the Power Five conference. You have ACC, you have Big Ten, you have Big 12, you have Pac 12, and you have SEC. Okay, now let's focus on SEC real quick. Okay, SEC has three, maybe more good, real good football teams. Okay, somewhere between like above average to like just like just unbelievable. Okay, so let's say the SEC champion is Alabama. Okay,
Which it probably will be.
I think 2 other teams coming from the SEC will probably eventually, for the most part, not every year, but most years will probably be Georgia and LSU. That's 6, 7. Okay, now they stand some other conference champions is going to get in. Now, who that's going to be, I have no idea. So that's 8.
Whoever the next strongest conference is.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But they're not gonna match SEC.
It'll be big. It'll be somebody at the Big Ten. It'll be
Well,
somebody.
I haven't got to that part yet.
Okay, carry on.
So then now you left with 4 other teams trying to get in. And my question is, who are you really trying to put in there that can match even some of those schools, like I said, that I just mentioned the SEC? Because if you put Michigan in there, you see Michigan going up against Georgia. Do you see Penn State going against Georgia? Do you see Notre Dame going against Georgia or LSU? Do you see Oklahoma going against Alabama? My point is, it's way too many teams.
Yeah, it is. It is way too many teams. And now Michigan versus Georgia, I'd be cool with that. I would actually be okay with that.
Okay, that's fine.
But let's say, okay, so look at the poll that just came out. Florida was completely unranked before this weekend. Florida is now the number 12 team in the nation.
That's a huge jump.
Do we really want to see Florida if they do this bye week thing? Florida, if the season ended today, Florida would play Texas A&M. Are you really going to sit down and watch that?
No,
Yeah, that's my
no.
point.
The only Florida teams I will watch would be either Steve Spurrier's Gators or Urban Meyer's Gators. And you said versus who?
Texas A&M,
What's a good era of Texas A&M?
the
Uh,
Wrecking Crew era,
who?
Leland McElroy, when they had the Wrecking Crew, them guys right there. Yeah,
Okay,
that was like 90s.
okay, okay, fine. So I will watch them versus either Steve Spurrier's Gators or Urban Meyer's Gators. But right now, no. So
Yeah, nobody
all I'm saying is 12
in
is
that.
way too many. I would have been fine with 8. based off what I
Yeah,
just said,
eight. It's like that old '80s show. Eight is enough.
yeah, because give me the 5 conference champions from the Power Five. Whoever that 6 conference champion is shouldn't even get in because it's not for them. It's not even going to matter. And so then give me those 5, and then give me LSU and Georgia. So that's what 6, 7, and then give me somebody else at 8, maybe Michigan.
Yeah, I like right now the poll that just came out. Notre Dame is 8, Oklahoma is 7. Which again, OU stands for overrated university. They always get bumped up. I don't know who they paying off to always wind up in the top 10 and then fail miserably at the end of the season. They don't just lose; they lose bad at the end of the season, like proving that they don't belong there. But I digress. Texas A&M is 6, Clemson is 5, Michigan is 4, Ohio State is 2, Georgia, I'm sorry, 3, excuse me. Georgia is 2, and of course Alabama is 1.
And
You know,
see,
a 33rd
number
NFL
and, and you see who's at number 2, Georgia.
team.
So that's why I said if Alabama wins the SEC championship, Georgia's going to get in. Will get into a 8. Well, they get a 12-team playoff as well, but they will get into an 18 playoff. So
And
you
for
have the 5, and then you have Georgia in there.
for argument's sake, let's go ahead and just put it out there. It's more than likely going to wind up being Georgia and Alabama in the SEC championship this year.
Of course.
And whomever wins that game, they gonna wind up being number 1, and whoever loses that game is probably gonna wind up being number 2. They just go like, for example, let's say the season ended today and it's the SEC championship this weekend. Georgia beats Alabama. Alabama's 2, Georgia's 1. They gonna switch places. And and for the longest, I fought this battle and I died on that hill because I was being completely ludicrous and asinine when people was telling me that the SEC is the conference. Period. They are the conference.
They've been in conference
You know,
for a long time now.
absolutely, absolutely, yeah. So it's man, what you gonna do? But then I would probably say the Big Ten is right after them,
Yes,
and
because
and
of
the Big
Ohio
12 is.
State,
Oh, go ahead.
Michigan, Penn State. Yeah, I give you that.
Yeah, the Big 12 has kind of just fallen off, and then you got the murmurings about Oklahoma and Texas leaving and joining the SEC. Cancel Christmas if that happens. If that really happens, cancel Christmas
Eric, the only reason why
because
I
it's.
disagree is because if you're talking about only let conference champions in, if you get a conference champion from like the Sun Belt going against Big Ten champion, that's still a mismatch.
Oh, I didn't see what he say. Uh, they were doing 12, throw the rankings out the window and only let the conference champs. But no, 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 no.
It's still a mismatch.
Because if you get 12 conference champions after your Power Five conferences, it doesn't really matter. Those teams are going to get mollywopped.
Yeah,
The Southland Conference, the Sun Belt Conference, the MAC, the WAC, the who else?
Big
I'm
Mountain.
Big Mountain. No, those guys can't.
And I
You
don't even
basically,
know that conference. I just threw it out there. Big Mountain.
yeah. Is it Big Mountain? Mountain West or something?
Something.
Yeah, no, 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 no. You have to go with the rankings. Now, here's my thought on that. Remember when they had the computers deciding the national champion?
Yeah,
Remember that?
yeah. Back when it was the BCS.
Right. Okay. So before that, they had voters, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So they had voters. We found out that wasn't fair because y'all remember that year where
it
they
was Southern
voted
Cal, Texas.
Southern Cal, no, Southern Cal and Oklahoma. And Auburn was sitting at home with a 13-0 record. Oklahoma hadn't even won the conference. And the voters voted Oklahoma into that national title game where they proceeded to get a 50 burger fed to them by USC. Remember that?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so here's my point. I'm kind of rambling, but here's my point. I was okay with the computers doing the rankings, but not picking the champion. Let the computers pick the rankings, and then let them play. You understand what I'm saying?
I get it. I get it. So so
They
so
they
bas-
they should have got the best of both worlds. They completely did away with computers and went back to voting, which has skewed it and messed it all up and blown it all to hell because you got people sneaking in because of favoritism. But let the computers decide the rankings, not the champion, just the rankings. And then whoever your top 8 teams, not 12, let them play. Now you got a fair shot.
Agreed.
Yeah. So that's our little college football talk for tonight. But if you have thoughts on college football scene, please feel free to comment some more. And we might circle back around to that after we finish talking about the NFL tonight. So news out of Pittsburgh. Coach Omar Epps, call him Mike Tomlin, has decided to name Mitch Trubisky the starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, this just came out, but it makes sense. I mulled over for a second and I'm like, wow, but then it makes sense because we don't really know what Pittsburgh is going to be. We don't know what that offensive line looks like. Let the veteran take all the beatings, and it's going to be Mitch Trubisky's last go around in the NFL, and thus let him prove either that he's good enough to stay or bad enough to get out, and let Cody Pickett sit and learn. So, thoughts?
It doesn't matter. It's almost like when Big Ben was a rookie and they had turnover Tommy as another quarterback option. This basically they basically have just circled back to
Yeah.
that time.
Oh, they back at square one.
Yeah.
No doubt. No doubt.
Now, I'm not saying Kenny Pickett's not going to work out. I'm not going to say it is going to work out, but that's basically what they circle back to. Big Ben's rookie year when they went to AFC Championship game and lost, but they had Tommy Maddox as another quarterback option. Turnover Tommy. I know you remember Turnover Tommy,
Oh,
former
God, yes.
Steeler and Bronco.
Oh, God, yes. So, I just found that really interesting that they made a decision like that when you got the old quote unquote savvy veteran with the young quarterback waiting in the wings. Now, a team that's not doing that is San Francisco. They keep saying that it's Trey Lance's team, but Jimmy Garoppolo just sitting right down over his shoulder, which we got into that last week. I don't want to go any further into that. But what's interesting with these games this week, you have a lot of quarterbacks going back to their and playing their former teams this week. It's really, really interesting to see that. You have Baker Mayfield with the Panthers going and playing the Browns. You have let me see, you have Joe Flacco who's starting for the Jets for an injured Zach Wilson. Now there's rumors Zach might still play. That's what they're saying. But if Joe Flacco plays for the Jets, he's going to play the Ravens.
Yeah, just an injury thing. That's all that is.
Yeah. You have and then you have, of course, the one everybody wants to see on Monday night, Russell Wilson playing the Seahawks as a Denver Broncos. It's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos versus Drew Lock and
So,
the Seattle Seahawks.
so let's go ahead and get into Pando's picks for week one.
All right,
So
let's
these,
go.
so these are my picks. Sometimes they line up with the odds makers in Vegas. Sometimes they don't. These are my opinions. If you have something to say about it, please, by all means, comment. I'm loving it. And guess what? If you're right at the next week, I'll come back. Hey, man, I was wrong about that pick. Hey, man, they got me. But y'all know my saying. Pando 316 says I just proved you wrong. Every week, I always have a pick'em game, which means it can swing either way because these teams are so evenly matched. And every week, I have what's called my Stone Cold lock. My Stone Cold lock is I always have one that somebody is guaranteed to win this game. Okay. And here we go. So Thursday night, Brandon, you have the team that just won the Super Bowl
And
versus the team that a lot of prognosticators are saying is going to win the Super Bowl this year. You have the Buffalo Bills traveling to LA, SoFi Stadium, to play the, I gag every time I say this, world champion Los Angeles Rams. I have the Bills. I have the Bills basically by, and points don't really matter to me, but I have the Bills winning outright, but I have the Bills by 6.
Okay.
That's what I got. And go.
I'm not mad at you because and okay, see this the defensive side of the football coming out of me. Stafford has a bad elbow. If you all don't know, he has I guess what's called thrower's elbow because he's been throwing the ball so much in his career. Okay, with that bad elbow, they have given him rest as much as possible. They gave him a needle injection to try to heal it as fast as possible. If I'm the Buffalo Bills defensive coordinator, no, I'm not going full out Greg Williams. However, I am trying to get the man on the ground and make sure that elbow hits the ground hard. Or while he's throwing the football, the elbow hits my helmet as I'm coming in. So that way, that elbow continues to give him problems. You have 17 games now versus 16. I every defensive coordinator going against the Rams, if I'm the DC, I'm going immediately after Stafford. Win or lose, that's how I'm gonna either live or die. It's
And
going to
you
be
don't really have to
war.
target that elbow. I mean, most of the time that elbow is going to get targeted anyway because most of your pass rushers coming off the edge swatting at that ball, trying to get a strip sack. So that elbow is about to get some punishment
Oh, I know
just
it is. I
from
know it is.
everyday play. And Stafford, unfortunately, and everybody was, oh man, Stafford, oh man, Stafford. It's like Stafford, people forget the beatings that he took while he was in Detroit, and it's starting to catch up with him. And it's like that's going to be an issue throughout this season. Watch. You heard it
I
here
agree.
first. All our viewers, all our future viewers that may come back and see this recorded, mark my words, that elbow is going to be an issue sometime this year. It may not be week 1, it may not be week 7, but at some point in this year, because again, Stafford still got to play in the NFC best. So you talking about you got to deal with Nick Bosa coming off the edge. Now
You
Chargers
got
don't.
to deal with Buda,
The
Buda Baker blitzing.
Buda Baker blitz, and that's about it. I'm about to say the Cardinals don't even really have a pass rush, and they let Chandler Jones walk out the building. But
And you got to worry about Jamal Adams blitzing.
they have to play they also have to play the AFC West, where you're dealing with Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa once that year. So hey, I'm just saying. So that's like I said, it's not a fact of, and let me be clear, we're not talking about someone targeting Matt Stafford's elbow, but that's just part of the game. You're gonna get hit on that elbow, and it's gonna become an issue. It may be sooner, it may be later, but it will happen. You heard it here first.
And
So I have go ahead.
that's why I said I'm not going full out Greg Williams because Greg Williams was completely dirty, i.e. Bounty Gate.
Yeah,
But but that's why I said I'm gonna make sure the elbow does get hit though.
absolutely. And the Rams, depth chart. I'm trying to remember who's the Rams backup, the backup
Okay,
QB.
so I was looking at that because I saw the question about Eric James, who's Stafford's backup. His backups are John Wolford and Bryce Perkins.
Oh, cancel Christmas.
See, and see, for the
Cancel Christmas.
most part, most teams when franchise, their franchise quarterback goes down, that's it. Because most teams don't have a legitimate backup.
Yeah.
That whole Kurt Warner, Tom Brady thing was a once in a lifetime thing.
Well, twice in a lifetime, if you really
Well,
want to.
you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
we have a biased opinion here, but I'm not gonna get into it.
There was no, Titus. There was a bounty gate. They got the man on tape saying specifically to go after certain people, and I know this for a fact because it was against my team. He was calling out specific people on my team about their specific injuries and to go after them. No, sir. I'm sorry, sir. You're wrong. You're wrong. You could talk about there not being a bounty gate. You could talk about Greg Williams, but Pando 316 says I just proved you wrong. So again, no, they got the man on tape. That's like saying, Donald Trump didn't say that. And if he did, he didn't mean that. Yeah, no, they got him saying no. So I ain't gonna get political right here. But let's move on to our next game. Our next game is the Saints versus the Falcons. Ladies and
And
gentlemen,
there's nothing to talk about because Saints win this game next.
yeah, no, I got it because I wish I had the graphic. I don't have it, but literally somebody tweeted because Titus, our dear friend, had just commented. Titus showed it to us on our group chat that a Falcons fan says it doesn't matter who the Saints have, Falcons by 30. And to that, I like to reply, child, please. This game is my stone cold lock of the week. The Saints are going, even if they playing mediocre football, are going to run roughshod over the Falcons.
I said this in the group chat. The only way the Falcons are beating the Saints by 30 is if the Saints top 30 players go down for the rest of the game. That's how the Falcons are winning by 30.
Stone cold lock.
Now, next,
Saints by 14.
next,
That's what I got. All right.
next.
So we have another prodigal. We have a prodigal son game coming up here. We have, even though they're going to him, the Cleveland Browns will be traveling to Charlotte, North Carolina, to play the Carolina Panthers. Baker Mayfield is the starting quarterback for the Panthers. Baker Mayfield has a chance to exact some sort of revenge on his former team because they went and got Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson won't be playing until week 12. So which I'm not getting into that. I have certain feelings about that. But
Really, it might be game 12 because we don't know when the bye week is. So
right.
just say game 12.
Game 12. But yeah. So in that, I have the Panthers. Because although I like Jacoby Brissett, let's go ahead and let's be honest. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know. Because Brissett's not going to really get the job done against Carolina. Carolina still has a good enough defense to handle Brissett.
And that's my point.
Just stop the run. Make sure Mark Cooper foot is bothering him, and then keep moving.
Yeah. So
and don't knock dirt with 5 players.
I have the Panthers. I have the Panthers by about 3.
Okay, I give you that.
Give them an honest 3. All right. So moving on. My team, the San Francisco 49ers, the San Francisco 49ers will be traveling to
This
Chicago.
is not Ohio State.
The San Francisco 49ers will
Just because you drafted Nick Bosa does not make you qualify you for Ohio State.
You through? I can go now.
I'm through as long as you're through.
Why are you holding your hand like that? Like, what? Everybody knows you talking. Like, why you? Okay, so
I'll explain later.
Okay, so the Niners versus the Bears. That was an interesting soundbite, and I'm not sure who said it, but it was on YouTube. That was one of Justin Fields' wide receivers that said that, and I quote, "Yeah, that's the team that they're playing. We're playing this week. He's gonna make them pay a little bit because they didn't take him in the draft." He was talking about San Francisco, who probably will have a top 5, barring injuries, will have a top 5 defense this year. There's going to be a lot of quarterbacks on their back this season if everybody's healthy. I don't know about you, but if I'm Justin Fields, I'm ready to fight that wide receiver. Hey, man, I appreciate your vote of confidence, but you just gave these jokers bulletin board material. You literally put a price on my head Yeah, he go. Yeah, he did. Here you go. That's like Brandon and me and you at a bar, and there's a bunch of UFC fighters and pro wrestlers in the corner, and I walk over there and say, "My man Brandon say he can whoop all y'all, F you and your mama." That's what he said. Yeah, yeah, Brandon. Yeah, my man. You gonna be like, "Hey, dog, what you, bro? What you? Hey, man, you put me in a bad spot here. I wouldn't want none of my teammates to do that, for real."
Exactly.
Yeah. So that being said, I got Niners by 6. Trey Lance is going to struggle a little bit. Uh, he is, but that running game and that defense is going to be enough to win that game by 6. So I have Niners by 6. Moving on. Steelers versus Bengals. This was close to being my lock. The only reason why it's not my lock is because the Steelers still have a very good defense.
Sure do.
That's the only reason why this is not a lock. Okay.
Cam
So
Haywood, T.J. Watt, Miles Jack.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's man, you got some man, you
I'm
got
gonna-
some killers. That's another team that, despite who the quarterback is, will probably have a top 5 defense themselves.
you know what? You also got to remember too. They still have some good offensive players because they gonna run 11 personnel out there
Mhm.
because they have Deontay Johnson, George Pickens, and Chase Claypool at wide receiver, and then
The only
Najee
problem
Harris
is
at running
who's
back.
throwing the ball.
Huh?
The problem is who's throwing the ball.
Okay, let me put it this way. The only thing I can say about Trubisky is this: he needs to do what Trent Dilfer did with the Baltimore Ravens in 2000. You turn around, you hand the ball to Najee Harris, and when it comes to throw the football, you need to be smart with the football. Don't turn it over. Don't turn the ball over. Just be smart and find and just figure out who's open between those three receivers and make it work. Don't overdo it. Just be smart.
I'm gonna see you and raise you this same question. This Mr. Trubisky we talking about, who throwing the ball?
I understand that. But Trent Dilfer didn't do well in Tampa Bay, right? Right or wrong. All you had to do is just be smart with the football. Don't be out there trying to play hero ball. You're
Now,
not John El- whoa, whoa, whoa. You're not John Elway, okay? You're not Tom Brady. You're not Peyton Manning. You're Mitch Trubisky, okay? That's who you are, and that's fine. I'm not mad at you. What's up, Trey?
hello Trey.
But just be smart with the football. Turn around, hand the ball off to Najee Harris, and whoever's open within the scheme, and that's also on the OC as well. Make sure you can give this man easy throws and never fall behind. Never look. Two more things. Never fall behind on in the chains. And when I say fall behind in the chains, is if it's when it's first down, 1st and 10, keep it second and mid or second and short, and you keep it easy on your quarterback. Also, don't fall if you're losing in the game, don't fall too far behind. Wait, I know why you're grinning. I know why you're grinning because this is not guaranteed to happen, and I know football. Okay,
Just a Fan podcast is sponsored by melatonin.
that's for putting people to sleep. Anyway, what
Mr.
I'm
Trubisky
saying
gonna
is
put
I'm not going to sleep, so you might as well cut the
Mr.
crap.
Trubisky about to get put to sleep by the Bengals defense and Joe Burrow
Look,
slinging it all over the yard. So
what?
that being said, Bengals by 10.
Thank you, Eric. All I'm saying is, if you're losing the game, don't fall too far behind because then you really have to throw the football. Keep Trubisky throwing the ball 20 to 25 times a game. He'll be fine for the most part.
I agree. You got to turn around and hand to Najee Harris. But what happens when you get in a hole?
Make sure you don't fall. Get in that hole.
What happens when you get in the hole? When you get in the hole, when you have Joe Burrow tossing it all over the yard to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and so on and so on.
I understand that, but that's why you make sure you don't fall behind too
Also,
far behind.
what happens when Trubisky throws an interception deep in their own territory?
You have a good defense.
Hey man, I don't care how good your defense is. You know how hard it is to defend a short field against a
Oh,
offense
okay, okay. You talking about that? You don't know? Okay, my
yeah,
bad, my bad, my bad. You talking about that
against
side
an
there?
explosive offense like the
No,
Bengals?
no, and I will give you that. I will give you that. But your offensive coordinator needs to make sure that the game plan is as easy as possible. Look, if the OC creates a good game plan for Trubisky, and Trubisky screws up, then they might as well pull him as soon as possible, and put in Pickett and just let him take his lumps.
But do you want to throw the kid out there that soon? The whole rationale for sitting him because
You know
everybody
what? You know
from what
what?
I've
You
been
know what?
hearing,
You know what? You know what? Troy Aikman went up against Buddy Ryan's Eagles and took it like a player and won 3 Super Bowls. Be a man. No, 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 no. This is the NFL. Okay. This is
okay,
not.
so
No, 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 no,
still,
no, no, no. Eric, wait. This is not boohoo football.
I never said that.
This is the NFL.
I never said
No,
that.
no. When you play quarterback in the NFL,
You keep
you have
saying
to
no. I
be.
never said. I didn't say that. Did I say
You
that?
have to be a man at
I'm
quarterback.
asking.
You cannot be weak at quarterback.
Okay, so
So
are you finished? Are you
Pickett
are
at
you
some
finished?
point has to take his lumps.
Are you finished?
Peyton Manning took his lumps. Troy Aikman took his lumps. Take your lumps. Be a man or don't play quarterback in the NFL. It's one or the other. Be a man or don't play quarterback.
Are you finished?
Yes.
Thank you. If that's the case, then why the hell is he not starting?
You need to ask Mike Tomlin.
Okay, so again, this is my point. All right, if Mike Tomlin made a decision to sit him, he made this decision to sit him for a reason. So it ain't got nothing to do with him. Be a man and take your lumps and da 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 and sis boom bah. It ain't got nothing to do with that. If Trubisky don't work out, you have basically contradicted yourself throwing Cody Pickett in there. You contradicted yourself because now you didn't throw him in there. Hell, you should have done that in the first damn place. You know what you had in Miss Trubisky? Miss Trubisky, Garoppolo, Drew Lock, all of them. Same damn quarterback.
By the way, his name is Kenny
Hot
Pickett.
garbage. So I mean that's the only point I'm making. Because if and everybody around who's talked about Steelers camp, they said Cody Pickett looks great.
Kenny.
But there's something going on with Mike Tomlin that's basically saying, hey, he's not ready to start yet. And I respect his decision. Let me be clear on that. I respect the man's decision. Coach Tomlin has won Super Bowls. He's won a lot of football games. But obviously, there's a reason he wouldn't start him. So Mitch Trubisky don't have a short leash. I don't believe he does. I believe it's the intention until they show me something different. It's the intention of that organization to give Cody Pickett as much time as he needs before
Kenny.
he takes over. So no, they not gonna throw him in this week or maybe even
Kenny.
next week.
Kenny.
Kenny, I'm sorry, Kenny Pickett. I apologize. All right, so moving on. Eagles versus Lions. Now, everybody is just, oh my God, over the moon about the Eagles because of all of these free agent pickups that they've had, all these additions that they've made.
Yeah, man. I mean, shoot, did you see? I mean, did you see who they all brought in? They brought in running back Barry Sanders. They brought in wide receiver Jerry Rice. They brought in tight end Tony Gonzalez.
The
They
way people
brought
are
in
talking,
hold
they
on,
might as well.
wait, man. They brought in left tackle Orlando Pace. They brought in defensive end Bruce Smith. They brought in defensive tackle John Randall. They brought in Mike linebacker Ray Lewis. They brought in cornerback Daryl Green, and they brought in safety Brian Dawkins. Man, everybody's head over heels for the Philadelphia Eagles. My goodness, but their quarterback is Neil O'Donnell.
Jalen Hurts.
Doesn't matter.
So that's now that
Segue.
being said, all of that is true. Jalen Hurts is the quarterback, and we still don't know what the hell he is.
I know what he is,
But even with that, the Eagles will still win that game by 6.
and I
I
tell you
still,
what,
I still have the Eagles by
the
6.
only not the only reason, but one of the reasons why the Eagles win by 6 is because Detroit's not where they need to be yet. They
But
getting there.
they are very well
They
coached.
are getting there. And I'm telling y'all right now, y'all better keep your eye on Detroit this year. I'm not saying they win the division or anything, but keep your eye on them based off what they did last year.
They are a very well coached team, and
Yes,
they believe in their coach, and they play extremely hard.
yes.
That's why I didn't choose that as a stone cold lock this week, because
Hey, I don't blame you.
Detroit will fight you tooth and nail
Hmm.
to the end. So,
Hmm.
but I still have the Eagles by about 6. So, all right, moving on. Uh, I have the Indianapolis Colts over the Texans.
Yes.
That's that's one of those ones that I had to really mull over because that was close to being a stone cold lock. Um, Boy, Houston fans, I went to that last preseason game because the Niners played the Texans, and Houston fans, boy, they was talking noise. And I'm just like, first of all, you do realize this is preseason. Remind me again how being undefeated in preseason equates to playoff success and winning your division. Remind me again. I'll wait. But oh my God, they was just jubba, and all this other stuff like that. I say, first of all, why are you a Texas fan at this point? Because all the people that I know that's got some sense have jumped ship on that franchise just because it's a horribly run organization. But they I said it at the game because I had Texas fans sitting all around me in the stadium. I said, yeah, but what's gonna happen week 1 against Indy though? Oh, I can hear Mouse peeing on cotton now. Yeah. So give me Indianapolis by 10.
If I'm a Houston Texas fan, if I go to the game, I'm not wearing none of their gear. I'm not wearing their colors. I'm not saying anything. The only thing I'm gonna do is just say I'm here to watch the team play, and I'm holding my head down, and I am what you call it? I got a paper bag over my head like the old Saints fans used to have over my head.
Yes, I was. I was very loud. And it got quiet when I said that too. Because they knew I was telling the truth. I said, hell, try to get past Jacksonville. Why you talking noise about this playoff game? Y'all still got y'all starters again in against our third string and moving. Y'all excited. Y'all for real? Y'all excited? Okay. Let's see what happens when the real bullets start flying. Yo, when them real bullets start flying, let's see what's happening. So I got Indy 10 over the Texans. And that's being generous. All right. So here's my surprise pick of the week. I don't know. It may not be a surprise to some people. I have the Miami Dolphins over the New England Patriots.
I'm not surprised.
I just
Look, no. Look, let's talk New England real quick.
go.
Your offensive coordinator is Matt Patricia, who was a defense coordinator the last time he was in New England, and he failed as a head coach in Detroit. Also running the offense is Joe Judge, who was a special teams coordinator last time he was in New England. He became a head coach in New York, and he failed. That's two. Number three, Tom Brady ain't walking back through that door. He's in Tampa Bay. Number four, Josh McDaniels now the head coach in Vegas. Number five,
You ain't
the
nothing
offensive
but a. I had
number
to throw that
five,
in there. You
the
said Vegas.
offensive line coach retired. Number six, you're paying all these wide receivers and tight ends all this money. You have the most expensive group of wide receivers and tight ends in the league, and none of it can create separation. I can cover them. Okay, you give Mac Jones this as a second year quarterback after drafting him in the first round in 2021. You didn't build anything around him. You gave him nothing. I
Their,
know Mac Jones. I know.
their best
Hold on.
receiver.
Wait. I know Mac Jones not the end all be all, but you have to give him a fair shake to prove himself, whether he's good or bad. And not giving him anything in New England, whether it's coaching or players, that's a recipe for disaster for Mac Jones. And Mac Jones been complaining all summer about it. Why would you set up your franchise quarterback like that? That does not make any sense.
There's a lot of teams that do that, but I
No,
don't.
I get it. I get it. I get it. And I don't. And I okay. This is the new. This is the new thing. Forget not just the Philadelphia Eagles still number one. This is the number two thing that makes that gets me. Why don't we protect our quarterbacks? Why don't we give our quarterbacks the tools they need to succeed in the NFL? Stop. Stop. David
Is
Carr.
that a rhetorical question?
David Carr in Houston got beat up because he had no offensive line. Yes, they brought in Tony Baselli, but he got hurt, and that was it for him. Andrew Luck was a game-changing franchise quarterback drafted by the Indianapolis Colts out of Stanford. He retired in preseason because his body was too banged up to finish his career. He had no protection on the offensive line. Those are a couple of examples of you all need to give your quarterbacks what you need to succeed in the NFL. If you don't have an offensive coordinator, you don't have an offensive line coach with an offensive line, you don't have the skilled players, what do you have for your quarterback? Stop. NFL teams need to stop doing that. If you're going to draft a quarterback in the first round, give him the tools he needs to succeed. That's all I got to say.
So yeah, I think New England is mailing it in. I don't even think that they're a playoff contending team this year. Um, I just I don't have any belief in them. Probably their best receiver on that team is a slot guy named Kendrick Bourne, and there's not much after that. You literally have a special teams and defensive coordinator doing the offensive play calling. I'm just like, and while yes, you do have some guys who are very very fluid and can jump from different sides to the ball and coaching, that is not conducive to success
Thank you.
on an NFL franchise. Uh, so and I'm just honestly, I have really the Belichick ship has sailed. Because some
Yeah.
people be like, "Hey, oh, it's Belichick, it's Belichick." Okay, Belichick is defense, and why they probably won't have we'll probably still have a decent defense. You have a defensive coordinator calling the offensive plays. I'm done. So yeah, and then not to mention, let's talk about the Miami Dolphins, who basically have a 4x100 meter relay team for their backs and receivers,
Hey,
and you have nothing to nullify that speed on the other side of the ball in New England. You really don't.
no, you don't
So,
because
yeah.
they
So
don't. Who's the starting corners now?
I don't even know. Like J.C. Jackson is in Los Angeles now. Um, yeah, it's slim picking. Kyle Duggar's back there.
Yeah, he's a safety.
Yeah, and he's a safety, so I don't
He's not.
know,
He's
but
not covering
yeah,
any
it's
receivers anytime soon. Well, I mean, he could, but
unless
he's not. He's not
unless Tua unless Tua Tagovailoa actually just completely craps the bed. I see Miami by 3, and that's being safe, but maybe it could be more than that. So I got the fans over the Pats. Um, Next game, Ravens versus Jets. The Jets are not quite ready for prime time. The
no.
Ravens are just a stronger team right now. Give me Ravens by 3.
Yep.
Even though Greg Roman is the offensive coordinator, I don't care. Ravens fans get mad. I don't care. I'm gonna keep talking about Greg Roman.
The Baltimore Ravens and the New England Patriots and the Dallas Cowboys, all three teams need offensive coordinators. I am available. Thank you.
He say he available. So I mean, I would probably go with Brandon before Greg Roman. But Yeah, give me the Ravens. Lamar Jackson's probably going to ink a deal sometime before this week is out. Um, and he's going to be happy and he's going to be running roughshod over him. So the Jets are not quite ready for prime time. They are building something special over there, but Zach Wilson not playing is going to be a problem. Um, moving on, I have the Commanders over the Jags. I just I know
The
I
Jags
sound
are
crazy.
rebuilding.
Yeah, I just feel like Carson Wentz has more veteran savvy, even though Sunshine, Trevor Lawrence, even though Trevor Lawrence is a way more talented
You know what?
quarterback.
Every time someone says sunshine for quarterback, I think of Remember the Titans.
That's what I'm talking about.
I know, I know, I know. That's
Yeah, but I just
that's my movie.
yeah, I think Carson Wentz. You got it, Carson Wentz. Now, here's the thing: the Commanders' defense is taking a hit with Chase Young not being out, not playing. That's going to be an issue. But I think they can pull it out. Give me Commanders by 3.
Okay.
Um, Giants at the Titans. That's the Titans. That's another close stone cold lock that I almost picked. Um, but Tannehill's a quarterback of the Titans, so there's always a margin for error.
Yeah, but I still
Yeah,
choose Tannehill over Daniel Jones.
yeah, but here's the thing, and I don't want to get off into a rant here, but I don't really like when they say Tannehill versus whoever, or this quarterback versus this quarterback. They don't play each other. Is
And
that
you're
quarterback?
absolutely
Is
right. They
that
don't play each
quarterback
other.
versus that defense?
But
That's how I look at it.
no, and I get it. I get it. I get it. But it's just such a quarterback driven league that
Absolutely, no. I get it. Yeah, but so yeah, there's not a whole lot to talk about. Derrick Henry's going to go crazy. I don't think outside of Leonard Williams, that defense doesn't impress me. So yeah, they probably gonna keep it on the ground. It's probably gonna be them just handing off to King Henry and watching him throw defensive backs into the first row of the stands for the whole game. So
Mhm.
so moving on, give me the I'm sorry, give me the Titans 6 over the Giants. I'm sorry, 10 over the Giants.
Okay.
10 points. Moving on, Chiefs over Cardinals.
Enough said. Next.
Yeah. Uh, the outside of Buda Baker, I'm not really impressed with the Cardinals defense. Oh, and Isaiah Simmons, but I mean, I honestly feel like the Chiefs are more dangerous now that Tariq Hill is not there, because now you got basically Pat Mahomes spreading the ball around. And
Hmm.
that makes him even more dangerous instead of keying on one player. It's like you don't know where the ball's going. You have several solid players at receiver. You don't have
Yes,
any
you do.
more
You really do.
superstars. Like it's not as many superstars anymore, but you got a bunch of solid guys, and then you still got Travis Kelsey.
And
You know,
but you know what?
and
See,
people keep forgetting.
Andy Reid has experience with that because when he was in Philadelphia, before he got T.O., before he
He
got
had just solid
Jackson,
guys.
he had Todd Pinkston, Freddie Mitchell, and James Thrash at wide receiver.
And they were just solid guys. They were not superstars. They were just
Right,
solid. Yeah.
right.
So, and these guys in Kansas City are better than what he had in Philadelphia during those years you're talking about. So, yeah.
And,
And then
and
let's not forget that Chiefs like also can run the ball well.
yes,
You
but
know, we
also
forget
let's
about
not
that.
forget
Yeah.
they really made Tyreek Hill because Tyreek Hill was a low round draft pick, running back slash wide receiver. They moved the wide receiver to take a using speed, and Andy Reid was just smart with it.
So yeah, I have the Chiefs over the Cardinals by 10. I just if and Cliff, let me be clear. Cliff Kingsbury is not a very good coach.
He
Okay.
needs he
He is smoke and mirrors, and he is going to be silly enough to try to get into a shootout with Pat Mahomes and Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid, and they're gonna get smoked if that happens. They
yes,
are not gonna be able to keep up. Not without a DeAndre Hopkins, though. Not with an aging AJ Green.
thank you.
It's not gonna happen. So if they get, it could get really ugly if they try to go tit for tat with Kansas City. Oh, you threw
Exactly.
that touchdown? We gonna try to throw. Oh, he threw a pick. It's like it's baby, like my New Orleans friends say. All right. Moving on. This is my pick'em game coming up. This is the one where I feel like it can swing either way. I have made I have made a pick on this, but it could go either way, and that's Raiders at Chargers. Uh, I have picked the Chargers, but I mean Chargers by God by one. This thing could go either way. This is my pick 'em of the week. Really, 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 it could go either way. You got a lot of talent on both sides of that side on both sidelines. So we'll have to just see. That's going to be my favorite game to watch this weekend, beside my own team playing. I'm going to really enjoy watching it because I feel like it's going to be a lot of fireworks. Uh, Derek Carr is a bona fide number one. Then, Robin ain't no joke either. You got Batman, you got Robin and Hunter Renfro. Yeah, I'm not sure about what's going on with Darren Waller's injury. But if he's able to play, wow, you know. But then you got Justin Herbert and you got Mike Williams and you got
Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen and it's Austin Eckler's coming out of the backfield. This is going to be a good game to watch. If you like offense, I think you should watch this game. Anybody, that's my advice to you. If you play fantasy and you have not drafted yet, you need to draft these guys and have them starting in your starting lineup this week because Raiders offensive players, Chargers offensive players, put them in your starting lineup because it's about to be interesting. It's going to be a track meet. So moving on, because we're getting short on time, I have the Green Bay Packers over the Vikings. Everybody's like talking about, oh, the Vikings going to be good. Everybody talking about Green Bay is going to the Super Bowl, which no, neither is correct. But the Packers still had a Vikings number. And Kirk Cousins is still a quarterback of the Vikings.
Next.
Okay. All right.
Kirk Cousins next.
Yeah. So I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Dallas Cowboys. I have the Buccaneers by 7. Because and if Steve was able to be on here tonight, Steve is our resident Cowboy. Well, Brandon is a Cowboy fan too. They're both very realistic Cowboy fans, but Steve gave a whole soliloquy a few weeks ago about how the Cowboys roster has not improved from last year. It has not improved. In fact, it might have even regressed. Those of you who are realistic Cowboy fans, I ain't talking about you. Oh, we didn't boy. Get out of here. I ain't talking to y'all. Talking to realistic Cowboy fans, they would agree with me. The roster has not improved from last year. The roster has, in fact, regressed. The injury to Tyron Smith is huge. Okay, they brought in Jason Peters, but Jason Peters versus Shaquille Barrett, I don't know. You got Julio Jones, Mike Evans, and now a healthy Chris Godwin who practiced this week with no restrictions. With no restrictions. There is not enough defensive backs on Dallas's secondary that can cover all those guys. So I got the Bucks by 7. And then finally, the Monday night showdown, the Broncos at the Seahawks. Russell Wilson is going to go back into CenturyLink Field, and he finna come in there. It's not gonna be pretty. He knows those guys on that defense. He's played against them in practice. He knows their ins and outs, and he has a better complement of receivers. Steve would not agree, but Brandon does. Brandon agrees that he has a better complement of receivers in Denver than he had in Seattle.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Russell Wilson throws 4 touchdown passes in this game.
I would not be shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked at all.
Russell Wilson was able to do what he was able to do with a horrible offensive line. He's going to a much better offensive line. So he is not going to have to scramble as much. He just signed that big deal, which we didn't really talk about. I wouldn't have gave him 7 years. I'd have gave him 5 because he's in his 30s. But yeah.
He's not that much younger than me.
Yeah. So
and I'm 37.
Right. So I would have gave him a 5-year deal, but that's neither here nor there. So that's Broncos over Seahawks easy. But to recap the picks, I got the Bills over the Rams, the Saints over the Falcons. That's the Stone Cold lock. I got the Panthers over the Browns, the Niners over the Bears, Bengals over the Steelers, Eagles over Lions, Colts over Texans, Fins over Pats, Ravens over Jets, Commanders over Jags, Titans over Giants, Chiefs over Cards, Chargers. That's my pick'em game. Slightly over the Raiders. The Raiders could easily win that game. Green Bay over the Vikings, Buccaneers over the Cowboys, and the Broncos over the Seahawks. So those are Pando's picks for the week. We will go over those next week's show, and then we'll pick week two's winners, and we'll talk about it. So if you've been watching and you heard my picks, please feel free to come back next week and tell me why I was wrong and why I was wrong. But I'm gonna tell you like this, and y'all have heard me say it before, the regulars on this show. I'm not always right, but I'm right more often than I'm wrong. I'm more right than I'm wrong. So
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, that is it for our show. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We are currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Okay. And you can also catch us on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. This has been another week of Just a Fan Podcast. That's Eric Pando 316 Right. I am the one they call the NFL Encyclopedia, Brandon Williams. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
if you like our show, hit like and subscribe
Please do. And share it too. Thank you.
and share.
Peace.